Ladies and gentlemen, Think and Grow Rich. This book has been published 70 million times. And since there are 8 billion people in the world right now, meaning 8,000 million people, 70 million divided by 8,000 million equals 0.009, meaning that reading this book would bring you to the top 1% of people. Hence why mathematics is so important in everyday life. Now, none about that, but hello everyone. My name is Simba, also known as Night Ranger. And today, let's talk about Think and Grow Rich. A book that is not only a self-help book, a business book, an entrepreneurial book, an economics book, a spiritual awareness book, but also the greatest book of all time. This book encapsulates it all. It tells you how to build a business. It tells you how to be a good worker and how to earn a decent living wage. Therefore, it could not be more applicable for each one of you. This book is divided into 2 main sections. Section 1 is Think, or the spiritual side to becoming rich. The second is Grow, or the concrete side to becoming rich. In this episode, I would be doing 2 different parts. The first video, this video, I would explain the spiritual side and how to cultivate your mindset to become a rich thinking mindset, or also known as money consciousness. In the second part, I will talk about the concrete side, or also how to grow rich using the benefits of organized planning, specialized knowledge, the mastermind group with your friends, and so much more. So I hope you enjoy. Now, let's talk about spirituality. The first step to becoming rich is desire. And you may think that is simple, but no, that is possibly the most integral thing that you need in your journey to becoming a wealthy man or woman. Because desire is the light that guides you. Desire is the map for your journey. If you don't have that desire, you don't have the fire of passion inside you to keep on going, to keep going against all the adversities that come up, to climb every mountain, to conquer every mountain, to go to the top and say, I've done it and I'm going to do it again and again and again, because you lack that desire. Right now, I'm telling you, just think, sit down, take a deep breath, and think, what do I want most in my life? Despite the fact that you may have a job right now, your job may be a teacher, a student, a businessman, a businesswoman. It could be anything from customer sales assistant to a retailer, right? It can be anything. But what do you really want to be? What do you really desire? What thing do you think is really going to make you that millionaire, that billionaire you envision yourself to be? Take a minute. Then say, I'm going to align 100% of my life to it because I desire it so much. Because I want it so much. I'm going to do it. I'm going to live it. Because that is my dream. And that is why I want to be rich. And I want to be rich that way. Without that hobby, without that passion, without that fire burning in your soul, you can't go anywhere. Then that leads us to faith. Despite the fact that you think, okay, now I have the burning desire. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. For example, what you want to do is I want to start a company. I want to be an entrepreneur. But then, let me ask you, do you have any faith in yourself? Do you really, truly believe that you can do something like that? You might be put down from all the childhood things you've been taught about. Oh, you can't start a company because it's risky. You can't do this because, oh, you might lose all your money. You might become bankrupt. Do you have faith in yourself to keep on going despite everything, every opposing gesture, every opposing noise that's coming against you? If you have that faith in yourself, then good. But if you don't, I want you to look me in the eyes, or look yourself in the eyes, in the mirror, just stare at yourself and tell yourself, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. State your dream. I want to earn $100 million through entrepreneurship. Then look at yourself and say that again and again and again. I want you to say it the moment you wake up every single day, before you go to sleep every single night. I want you to dream about it. I want you to dream about the fact that it's possible. Because the law of attraction basically states that if you want something, you would make yourself a magnet for that thing. Because you deserve it. You think you deserve it. You actually do. Because you're vibrating, your brain is vibrating on the same wavelength as what you want to achieve. And that's what makes you so powerful. That's what makes you better than everyone else, better than the 99% of the people, but because you believe, you truly, surely know that you can do something so great. And that's how you become rich. Then we go on to autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is combining both desire and faith. It's going into the neurological networks of how our body and brains work, right? I'm not really going to go into that. This is just bang, 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 what you need to know. But autosuggestion is the idea of telling your brain that you need to become something. Autosuggestion is the way that you envision something. Autosuggestion is basically telling your brain, I am that thing that I desire. And your brain will respond in a similar way. Because every day, now if you think, I am an entrepreneur with $100 million, your brain would think, I am an entrepreneur with $100 million. Your heart would say, I'm an entrepreneur with $100 million. Since our heart is a special thing, our heart is the spiritual thing that connects us with the universe, with the soul of the world, with something greater. You just need to know that our heart comes from something greater. It comes from the great beyond. It comes from a place our mortal bodies can never traverse. And hence, when our heart knows that we want something, when we are something, it would transform your entire body, your entire soul, your entire life into that thing you desire. It would make it come true because you tell your brain through the process of self-suggestion or auto-suggestion that you can do something. You would truly become that thing. Then we go on to imagination. Imagination is your creative sense. It is the reason why you create something. It is the reason why you want to start entrepreneurship. Imagination could be during your work. How can you make your work right now? Let's say you don't want to become an entrepreneur, but how can you make your work right now stand out? How can you use your creative imagination to say, all right, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it better than everyone else. You can imagine the things that you do. You can imagine the roadmap that you're going to take. You can imagine the long journey. This is also needed in your creative imagination. Think about the company that you're going to start. Think about all the inspiring ideas that you need to generate. Imagination is so powerful because it leads us to a realm of its own. It leads us into a kingdom of its own. It gives us the power to think beyond what we normally think, to think outside the box. When you truly, truly desire something, you can imagine things that you never possibly could have said, okay, that's true. But because imagination is alignment with your heart, it projects higher frequencies, literally. It literally gives out higher frequencies. It vibrates at something that's more than mortal, more than human, more than us. And that imagination reaches out into the universe just by you thinking, just by you desiring, and you envisioning your pathway to success. That's when you truly live that success. That's when you truly know what you're going to implement to make the success possible. Then it comes to the brain and the subconscious mind. You need to hardwire your brain into believing you. You need to repeat to it again and again and again it's possible. You need to make your brain so strong and so entirely immersed in your ideals that you can go out there, that you can face any adversity, that you can make it so strong and so self-believing A main word here is self-belief. You need to believe in yourself because no one else is going to believe in you. Because no one else is going to believe in you. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you need to go the solo way because there's only the solo way. Because you are you and you're trying to live out yourself. You're not trying to live out anyone else, and no one else can help you because they don't know what you want. But I do know what can help you. It's the last and most spiritual and most hard to obtain. It is the sixth sense illustrated in the book. The sixth sense talks about how a sense of being, a sense of becoming, a sense that is more than just seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, or feeling. This sense of becoming is this ability to dream, the sixth sense that we have. The sixth sense allows us to expand so much in our imagination, to draw wisdom from the very depth of our heart, to go to places we've never been able to go in a physical form. In the book, it illustrates how the author talked to great men that lived before him in his mind, how he talked to Abraham Lincoln, how he talked to Napoleon, how he talked to people like Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, all on the same table. How did he manage to do that? Through his sense, through this rampant imagination that he has. He'd be able to inquire to these great men, obviously after learning a lot about these great men's ideologies. And then he would sit down at a table and he asked them questions. And these are the men that can really help him. These are the men that walked through his success before. I encourage yourself, even though it's hard, just sit in a dark room and imagine stuff. Just to imagine things that inspire you. Imagine things that can lead you towards a path you want to take. And listen to it and implement it. Because that comes from the soul of the world. That is true. That is what is going to lead you to greatness. That is what is going to lead you to becoming rich. Both physically, mentally, and spiritually. Thank you so much for listening to this. I love you very much. Got very worked up over this, but alas. Love you so much. Bye-bye.